What's going on, y'all? I want to bring you guys to what's going on out in New Jersey. Now, of course, you guys aren't going to listen to me. However, what I want to do is bring you guys the experts. The politicians of New Jersey are all demanding answers, and they're getting just the government just blowing smoke. They're getting the runaround. The government is like, oh, no threat, but we don't know what it is, but it's no threat. And they're like, wait a minute, if you don't know what it is, how can you assess that it's no threat? I'm going to also bring you guys Luis Arredondo. He's actually a Pentagon official. All right? This is official. He's going to tell you what these drones more than likely are and what's going on. Exactly what I said. Now, these are the Orbs. ABC7 was out there in New Jersey. This is live. Picture these orbs that are flying around New Jersey, Texas, Arizona. These orbs are shooting down drones. What Luis Arredondo is going to say, what the senators are going to say, what soldier whistleblowers are going to say, and what eyewitnesses are going to videotape is that these orbs are shooting down the drones. That's what I want to bring you guys. I want to show you video of the orbs shooting down drones. I want to bring you guys soldiers saying exactly what Luis Arredondo, the Pentagon official, is saying. And I want to bring you guys what air pilots are filming 50 to 100,000 feet in the air. So let me bring you guys to what the politicians are saying they are getting from the government.
Air statements that he did make. He said that our New Jersey State Police helicopters have actually gone up, this was early on, and tried to actually pursue or try to get close to a drone, and the drone turned off and disappeared. Those are his words, not mine. We also know from our state police that these drones are not emitting radio frequencies. So when people say we're seeing personal drones or we're seeing commercial drones, and believe it or not, there is some misidentification going on. I'll give you that. But when people say that these are nothing but personal drones and commercial drones, it's simply not true. These drones are high tech, something like our government would have, or maybe a foreign adversary would have. They are not emitting a radio frequency, which makes it really difficult to track them, but makes it impossible to knock them out of the sky with a jammer. Because if they don't have a radio frequency, you can't jam them, you can't bring them down to the ground.
That's what I want people to do. Just use common sense. Now, one thing we know that this ain't just a bunch of people that got together. I said that way before. And same thing Luis Arredondo's going to say. These things are the size of a car. Now, with that, you got to have a battery pack that's out of this world. These drones are so sophisticated. They're $400 million drones. That wouldn't be for just an average group of people that want to act a fool. And so if these were our military, if all the sightings was just our military, they wouldn't have to shut down White Pat Air Force Base like he's going to say. Like, wait a minute, we wouldn't have to shut down so many airports, military targets, presidents' houses. This ain't that. But listen to what he's going to say.
SR-71, the Blackbird that everybody talks about, that can push about 3,200 miles an hour right there at the edge of Mach 5. But when it wants to take a right-hand turn, Chris, it takes roughly half the state of Ohio to do that. And what we are seeing are vehicles that are not doing 3,500 miles an hour, but in some cases 10,000, 13,000 miles an hour in a low Earth atmosphere environment. And they're able to execute immediate right-angle turns and 180-degree turns. So these are some examples. Another one's low observability, which we're now...
So I'm telling you, I watch video after video after video, and I watch expert, even news anchors, saying these things are zipping off. We do not, that ain't even possible with the technology we have. Those are not drones that can stop and fly off at 1,000 miles, 10,000, 13,000. This is Luis Arredondo. Look him up. He is a Pentagon official.
Same with these drones. Another one is transmedium travel, the ability to operate in multiple domains to include atmosphere, underwater, and even outer space. those type of technologies that we have been seeing for many years now at the Pentagon and with the intelligence community is taken very seriously within certain circles inside the U.S. government. The problem is the messaging and the communication to the people and to Congress and even to the president at times is very disjointed. And so now we have the situation we have now where you have local and state law enforcement officials literally recording these drones, these vehicles on their phone. And you have, on the other hand, a White House statement coming from John Kirby saying things that these are all prosaic and these are all manned aircraft and are all legally there. If that's the case, then why would you shut down Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, right? The answer is that it's not. These things are not being coordinated with U.S. government. It's a complete mystery, Chris, and it's a problem.
What's the best sense that you developed about where they're coming from and who has them?
You have drones being flown at night, which is very atypical. Usually do that when you don't want people to notice you too much. Some of these have been described as being bigger than an automobile or an SUV. So, Chris, that's a substantial drone, right? This is not a quadcopter that's being used at Amazon or Pizza Hut to deliver a pizza.
It's not a typical recreational application. You can't find them online for purchase.
That's correct. No, we're talking at least government sponsored, because now you're talking about loiter capability using a battery, by the way, right? Not liquid fuel like gasoline that weighs a lot, but a battery where these things are staying aloft for, in some cases, more than 5, 6, even 10 hours at a time and able to traverse a really long distance. Now, if you look at that compared to common drones, normal drones, conventional drones, they have a lifespan of maybe airtime total 15, 20 minutes before they come down and run out of battery. And they're only line of sight because you're using radio frequency to control them. If you want to go beyond line of sight, Chris, you need to have a really sophisticated infrastructure. You need either an aircraft to bounce and relay that system, or you need a satellite. And that takes manpower, it takes money, it takes time and attention. So this would be something either, at the end of the day, I think there's only two options if they're drones. One is they are foreign adversarial drones, which I don't think that's a possibility because you have to recover these things, you have to maintain them, then you have to deploy them again. Logistically, I just don't buy it. It'd be way too difficult. The other option is that there are drones, if there are drones, and there's two reasons they could be being used. One is you have a significant threat situation. Think of a broken arrow situation where there is some sort of WMD, whether radiological, chemical, or even biological, that has somehow been nefariously placed here in the continental United States or around sensitive military installations. So what would our response be? Typically, in the old days, we'd fly up a couple helicopters, but there's a response time there, and frankly, helicopters are limited in what they can do. It's much easier to send up 5 drones. You can have something geotagged. If there's for example, something coming into your perimeter, these things can automatically launch and do what you need them to do. So in this case, you could imagine our drones being used by the Department of Energy, maybe loaned out by the Department of Defense or the DHS or someone else, maybe a government contractor, with sniffers, with the electronic capability to detect trace amounts of radiation or biological or chemical weapons. And that's a scenario that would certainly make sense. The problem is you're not seeing the typical reaction you would see from the special operations world. Folks like JSOC, Joint Special Operations Command, and SOCOM, tier 1 organizations that would definitely be ready to go and be on some sort of retrieval basis should they find something.
That's an important cover point.
So what they're saying is it's only 2 possible scenarios. One is our enemies, which is saying that's pretty much off the table. Because if it was our enemies, they would have to be on the ground, they would have to coordinate, they would have to get the drones. Our government will be able to detect. That's impossible. Scratched it off the table. The other possibility is that it is our government, and that they're actually, what they're doing, trying to sniff out like a WMD, weapon of mass destruction. But that don't seem to be the case because they would have boots on the ground as well. So if that was the case of they was looking for WMD, weapons of mass destruction, they would have boots on the ground as well. So we can scratch that as well.
So I ran down that road because the New Jersey report that something was missing and got this entire education and how often this happens, how insignificant this medical rod is or whatever it is, and how they get stolen or misplaced. And just because we say radioactive doesn't mean what I would think it would mean from the movies or whatever. And the point that you're making now, which is you wouldn't be using just drones. You wouldn't be doing it at night. You would be all out and having all kinds of ground and interactivity within law enforcement if they were looking for something like a WMD or something like that. And I haven't had anybody give me any reason to believe that that's what this is. That's good. They can't tell me what it is in the alternative, but they say, look, I work on this kind of stuff about tracking nukes and stuff, and this is not what it would look like.
Exactly. So it's not that. So what they're saying is that these things are probably definitely government issued. You got to run a very sophisticated operation to run drone-sized, SUV-sized drones, to coordinate them to go hundreds of miles, several different states. And what are they looking for? So that we've established that the drones that you see are probably government issued. They're not local. They're not local people. And what are they chasing? Check this. This is live. This is actually a news station. They are live. This isn't a regular shot. This is a live shot.
At right now, we have no idea what it is, if it's a natural phenomenon, because it could be, but this is why so many municipalities are now asking people to reach out and send their videos to them or to experts who might be able to sort out what they're seeing in the skies. But I guarantee there are so many people looking up and making those recordings because this mystery is one that needs to be solved. For now, we're live here in Mendham Borough.
So, make no mistake, zero mistake. There are drones being seen. And that's what Louise O'Donnell was saying. You know, what are they doing? What are they doing? They're chasing these orbs. And what you're going to see in this video is several orbs in the sky. And you're going to see them being shot down. So look at this video right here. This is out of Arizona, December 14th. All right, so right here, you can see that drone right there. That's a drone. That's a drone with the blinking light. It's flying over there to the orb. That drone is flying to that orb. You're going to see that drone fly to that orb. If my video don't pause.
She moved quick around it.
All right, so you're going to see that drone. You see that drone is going up to the orb. Drone is checking out the orb. It's filming that orb. That's just hovering. That other one ain't a drone. The other one's that orb. And that drone is just sitting there blinking, looking at it. It gets close to that orb, and that orb shoots it down.
Ooh, that whatever it was just shut down the drone. If that was a drone.
So that drone. So there is drones. Make no mistake. But there's also these orbs. Now look at this. They go a drone chasing two orbs. Look, you see that orb with that blinking light? That's so there's a drone chasing two orbs. This drone is going to be chasing these two orbs. See it? That drone is chasing those two orbs. Now that's a drone, but the first two ahead of it are not drones. That drone is chasing those two orbs. That's what you're seeing. So today we established that these are not just regular people flying drones. That is not even possible for just regular people to jump out there, because you got to connect to their satellites. You got to connect to the FAA satellites, and they can have you down within seconds. They can track you within seconds, just like Trump said. He said, our government knows exactly what this is. Make no mistake. Zero mistake. Our government knows. Period. Because a regular drone, I have one. I can go show you one. You got to connect to the satellites. And then they can just jam your radio frequency. Those things are not making radio frequency. Somebody lying. All right, so now to on the icing on the cake on what we're saying, this is a soldier, and when you go to his comments, there's a bunch of other soldiers back in his story. They said exactly what he's saying. He's going to be saying that the drones are ours.
We are launching the drones up in the sky as of right now in New Jersey and stuff, in Texas, everywhere. Like, y'all don't gotta be afraid. Them are man-made drones. And we're doing the launching.
Yeah, there's lots of it.
What you do have to be concerned of, my bad, my eye, but is the orbs that's inside the sky that y'all see that's glowing and stuff, that's shooting down the drones and all that. That's not a part of us. Them are actually real life aliens. Like, aliens do exist. They're above and they're below us. Yes, they do exist. And 2025 there will be a lot more of exposing the truth. Now, I can't say the reason why, but because it's already out here, so I can speak on this. Aliens are real, and we will have to evacuate sooner than later. But just be careful, keep looking up in the sky.
So exactly what we already knew, he told us. Exactly, if you watch these things. So what people are seeing, drones that are very low, anywhere from 100 feet to 500 feet. But airplane pilots are seeing orbs 50,000, 100,000 feet in the air and are up there for 10 and 12 hours. We know there's nothing out there with battery life that can hold a SUV-sized drone for 10 and 12 hours. There's something else out there, as these pilots are going to point out. Hold on. This is the video of airplane pilots, and they're like, hey.
1596, yeah, they're looking into it.
We're seeing 3 or 4 targets. Yeah, they're all altitudes, up and down. It's pretty crazy. There was some at 30, probably.
30,
I mean, they're shooting way up. We'd say maybe up to the 50s, it looks like. Is there traffic actually out about our 2 to 3 o'clock? About, I don't know, 20, 30 miles?
No, it's...
Yeah, there's lots of movement out there.
1596, yeah, they're looking into it.
We're seeing 3 or 4 targets.
I don't think those are drones at all. I think those are the orbs the pilots are seeing. The public is seeing drones, and the drones are chasing those orbs. All right. And on top of that, I've studied UFOs for over 30 years. And it does coincide with, if you watch whistleblower Bob Lazar out of the military base S4 south of Area 51. One of the things he's going to say is the regular craft, the traditional craft that we see on a regular basis, they're inside an oxygen, nitrogen atmosphere, and they're emitting so much radio waves or whatever that it emits photons, it emits light. And at night, they appear to glow because they're in a gas atmosphere. So that's what Bob Lazar said. And he said that in 1989. I did several videos on that. I'm going to bring y'all Bob Lazar video as well. This is Bob Lazar. Hold on, let me bring you guys Bob Lazar. That's Bob Lazar right there. I brought you guys that on my other channel. And this was in 89. And he's going to say the exact same thing they're saying. He's the only one. He took 3 lie detector tests, passed all of them with flying colors, took his friends out there to film the craft, and they look just like them orbs. And what he's saying is that they emit photons. They emit light. They're emitting The craft is generating so much energy that it looks like a glowing ball of light at night. He said the same thing while lightning bolts are visible at night. They're emitting photons. They're emitting light. And that's what they look like at night, a glowing ball. And he brings you guys, he tells exactly how they're made, what they're doing, everything. And the soldier also is telling the exact same story. So he's saying the craft look like that. And the soldier says the exact same thing. They got the exact same story. So he's saying the craft look like that, but at night they look like glowing balls of light because they're emitting so much energy or whatever. And it just looks like a glowing ball of light at night. That's what Bob Lazar is saying. So I could do a whole nother video, which I'm sure I will. Anyway, y'all, peace.
City on fire, ooh, down to the wire. My life in the shy, ooh, it's my life in the shy.